Hello mortals, I'm the goddess who created the text world of Listernia, and I wanted to do a TBR for September. There's one book that I'm already set to read, which is Thunderhead, the sequel to Scythe. But for my next two books, I wanted to try something a little different. So I came up with an original little game called Shelve It or Shove It. The inspiration is from WoW Presents Fashion Photo Review, where drag queens review each other's outfit, and they call it either Toot or Boot the Look. What I'm going to do is review just covers of new releases, and I'll either put it on my shelf as a keeper or shove it off as a loser. Now, I'm only basing my decision on what's on the cover, but anything on the cover is fair game. So blurbs, who the author is, anything that you can find out about the book from the cover. I'm not just looking at the artwork and typography. If the book is by an author I really like, that could sway me, or even any little endorsement from another writer, or a catchphrase. Anything is fair game. Basically, I'll be treating this as though I saw a book on a bookshelf and whether the cover is enticing enough for me to pull it off and at least look at the blurb. So welcome to the first ever episode of Shelve It or Shove It, the totally superficial method to pick a book only by their covers. Now, I'm just looking at new releases on Goodreads for the month of August. I'm not looking at September new releases, just on the off chance that one of the books is released on September 30th, so it wouldn't be a very good book to be on my September TBR. Okay, so I have a list of new releases in August. I'm going to try not to look at anything except the cover, but I'm going to try to blow it up. And I can't wear a glove to use my iPad. And in case I need it, I have a magnifying glass because can't use my glasses on camera. So here we go. The covers I'm going to look at, I think, are going to be young adult, children's, in case there are some middle grade books there, because I think they're mixed up, fantasy and science fiction. There is not a category for horror. So anyway, let's start with young adult. I can open this up. The House of Salt and Shadows by Erin Craig. It is kind of a dark cover, isn't it? It has a nice font, Erin Craig, that doesn't say anything about the book. I guess from the font, since it is kind of old-fashioned, I'm going to think it's going to be some type of fantasy novel. Maybe about mermaids, I don't know. You know, from the cover, it's a pretty cover, but I think I'm going to shove it. Okay, the next cover is Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Roll. Or no, Rainbow Roll is not the author. I think it's it's a graphic novel. A graphic novel by Faith Erin Hicks. I guess the main character is Rainbow Roll. Looks very cartoony, and honestly, I don't really read graphic novels that often. So I'm going to shut it. The next cover is Swipe Right for Murder. It's a young adult murder mystery, I assume. It's very contemporary looking. James Patterson presents. The author is Derek Millman. I have not heard of any of this. There's a swan. It kind of looks like, is that James Charles? Maybe James Charles gets murdered. Wouldn't that be an interesting novel? Honestly, I'm not interested in a contemporary murder mystery. So I'm going to shut it. Okay guys, I'm switching to a laptop because my iPad was being too slow. So, the next book I have, Crown of Coral and Pearl by Mara Rutherford, which is, oh gosh, this looks like another possibly mermaid book. There's some writing on it that says, steal the crown. There's some writing on it that says, steal the crown, save the kingdom. You know what? I'm not interested. I'm going to shelve. The next book we have is Hello Girls. Looks like a pair of authors, Brittany Cavallaro and Emily Henry. And it looks like a Sex and the City type of modern girls. Why am I showing you this? I'm showing you the picture here. Now I'm gonna shove it. I've shoved every single one of the young adult books. Let's see if children's books are any better. We have Shadow School Archiemancy by J.A. White. So it's another magic school book, and I'm kind of tired of magic school books. You know, everyone's copying Harry Potter. There's this Magnus something or other series about a magic school. There's The School of Good and Evil, which was a good novel, by the way. But I'm just not interested in another magic school book, and this one's called Shadow School. And it's a very pretty cover, but because I believe it's another magic school book, I think I'm going to shove it. The next book is called The Dress and the Girl by Camille Andros, which looks way too young for me. Yeah, I think this is a picture book. They look like a pretty illustration, but I am not into illustrated picture books. If I'm going to do a children's book, it has to be middle grade. Shut it! So the next book is called Dead Voices. This looks kind of interesting. It's it looks like a cabin or a hotel in the woods. There is a quote by R.L. Stein that says, "Terrifying and fun." And the author is Catherine Arden, New York Times bestselling author of Small Spaces, The Bear, and The Nightingale. And there looks like some type of skull in a mountain range. Don't listen, dead voices. This is kind of intriguing. I'm going to shelve what Riley wore. This looks like a picture book. Yeah, this definitely is a picture book. Looks cute by Alana Arnold, but I have no desire to read a picture book. So, shut up. That's a problem. I wish they would have had a separate category for middle grade. They're just lumping them all in with children's. The next one is Each Tiny Spark by Pablo Cartella. This also looks a little young for me, but it could just be the cover. I don't see, it's not illustrated. It's a girl with a welding outfit on, and maybe she's a genius mechanic or something. I'm just not interested in this novel, so I'm going to shove it. Okay, so we're not doing very well. I went through young adult and children's, and I'll just have one on my shelf. So I'm going to jump to science fiction. The Warehouse by Rob Hart. Now this is reminding me of a recent episode of Doctor Who that took place in a giant Amazon warehouse, or futuristic Amazon warehouse. So there's I like the artwork. It reminds me of that Art Nouveau type of artwork from the 20s or 30s. And there is a drone and a bunch of cardboard boxes. You know what? I'm going to shove it. I have a feeling this must be a dystopian about a future where Amazon has taken over. I'm guessing. I don't think I'm interested in a dystopian novel right now, so I am shoving it. The next novel is Hollow Kingdom. So, am I in science fiction? I'm in science fiction. It doesn't look like a science fiction novel. It looks almost like a middle grade novel. Why? Because of the artwork, it's reminding me of like a Boy Scout manual. Or, you know what? You know why I'm saying that? It's because the font is the same font as Highlights magazine. I don't know if you've seen it from in doctor's offices, but it's that same font. So that's why I'm reading it young, but it's in the science fiction section, and it's kind of interesting. There's a octopus, a crow, and a dog. Does not look science fiction. I am very curious about it. There's something about it that I am going to shelve. It's by Kira Jane Buxton. I went to school with a guy named Buxton, so maybe they're related. But there's something about that is drawing me in. I am going to shelve. The Hollow Kingdom. So I believe that's 2 books on our shelf, a middle grade horror novel, and a science fiction. The next novel, science fiction, is Meet Me in the Future, with a big bug on the cover. I like the, oh, wait, it says stories. So this is, I'm assuming, a collection of short stories by Cameron Hurley. And I don't know this author, and there's no way I'm getting a book of short stories from an author I don't know. Shut up! So let's move on to the next one. Oh, this one I am excited about. It is a Gail Carriger. Gail Carriger is one of my favorite authors. She is a steampunk author. If you haven't read the Soulless trilogy, you are missing out. Okay, this has a young man on the cover, and dressed in a Victorian outfit. And I don't think I've ever seen a Gail Carriger cover with a man on it. Usually it's a Victorian woman. And it is the Custard Protocol, Book 4. Now, correct me if I am wrong, but I believe the Custard Protocol series, which I've read them all, except for this one, is young adult. I believe these are young adult books. And this is shelved in science fiction. Now I know this is steampunk, so I understand why they put it in science fiction, but there is a lot of fantasy elements in her novels, or horror elements with vampires and werewolves and other preternatural creatures. So I don't know why this is shelved under science fiction. I would have put this under young adult. Custard Protocol, Book 4. I've already read the first 3 novels, so this is a no-brainer. I am shelving this, and this is going to be one of my picks. I am telling you now, there's no way I am not adding the next Gail Carriger to my to-be read. The next science fiction novel is Black Spire, which is, oh dear, it's a Star Wars novel. Star Wars Galaxy Edge by Delilah Dawson. I don't recognize the author. I love the Star Wars universe, and I have read one that I liked, A Splitter in the Mind's Eye, but I'm really not interested in Star Wars novels, so I am going to shelve it. Okay, so I've shelved 1 middle grade and 2 science fictions, and we're moving on to fantasy. There's 5 fantasies. The first one is The Dragon Republic, which has a very pretty cover, but dragons have been done to death, so there needs to be something to really draw me into another dragon novel. It's a beautiful cover. It feels Asian to me. It has sort of that watercolor or ink, but it looks like this is a phoenix. It looks like there's an outline of a phoenix. There's a guy that's jumping with wings. I don't know. This one, you know what? I'm going to show it. There's something about it that's not speaking to me. I'm not being drawn into it. The next novel is, this looks like a very interesting cover. Hold on. I'm trying to blow it up. Let me blow it up. Okay. The First Girl Child. And it looks like some type of wooden background. Maybe it's a door or a shield. And there is a red stripe, or maybe it's blood or paint that takes the place of the eyes. Ooh, bloody eyes. I don't think that's it. By Amy Harmon, New York Times bestselling author. There is something intriguing about this. I am curious about this. The streak of paint or blood, the black wooden background, with the embossed, intricate carving. I'm going to shelve this. I am kind of curious about The First Girl Child. I have not heard of this author before, however. So, oh, this is a pretty cover. This is another dragon novel, Turning Darkness into Light by Marie Brennan. There are 4 dragons. I am getting a D&D vibe because they are colored. There's a black, green, blue, gold, or maybe yellow dragon bursting out of an egg. I like this drawing a lot. And there's a little blurb at the top that overwhelmingly fun, IO9 on the triple of, oh, it's about another, they're commenting on another novel of this author, I guess. It's a really pretty cute cover. I don't know if I'm gonna shove it. I'm gonna shove it. I'm just not feeling in a dragon mood. Maybe I just need to be in a dragon mood to get a dragon book. I don't know. I just seem to have read a lot lately. Okay, the next book is The Blacksmith Queen by G.A. Aiken, New York Times bestselling author. There's a crown, there's flames, blacksmith. There's some type of blurb here that says, the best, strongest, most kick-ass heroines in the PNR world. Simony Brooks. What is PNR world? This is worrying me because I don't know what a PNR world is. Maybe that's, is it a series? I don't know. The cover looks like a Photoshop cover that I can do. I mean, it's just a crown with some flames. I'm gonna shove it. The last book is the 5th novel of the fantasies, and it's called Nottingham, which I'm assuming is a Robin Hood spin-off. But right away, there's something different about it because it says no king, no rules. So I am assuming, and there's a big arrow, so I'm assuming it's definitely a Robin Hood based novel, but maybe King James has died, or no king, no rules. I'm curious about this. Cover's kind of simple, but I like the font, and I like the arrow, and I kind of like Robin Hood. I like the Robin Hood backdrop. I'm gonna shelve this. Now I've narrowed it down to just a couple books on my shelf. I have a middle grade horror novel, Dead Voices. I have 2 science fiction novels, Hollow Kingdom and Reticence by Gail Carriger, and I'm telling you right now, Gail Carriger is one of the picks. And I have 2 fantasies, The First Girl Child and Nottingham. And I just keep getting drawn to The First Girl Child. I am really curious about this one. The cover is simple and dark, but there is something spooky about it that I am drawn to. So, let's read the blurbs on the books. Reticence. Bookish and proper Percival Tunstall finds himself out of his depth when floating cities, spirited plumbing, and soggy biscuits collide in this delightful conclusion to New York Times bestselling author Gail Carriger's Custard Protocol series. And like I said, I read the first 3. I love this series. This is the first time, I believe it's the first time, she's ever had a male main character. All her other books, to my memory, has been female characters. So that's very interesting. Now the next book I'm going to pick is The First Girl Child. I don't know anything about this. I am drawn to this cover. The author is Amy Harmon. If you know her, please comment below. From the New York Times bestselling author comes a breathtaking fantasy of a cursed kingdom, warring clans, and unexpected salvation. Okay, I'm just gonna skim. This is I'm not gonna read this whole thing, but I'm gonna skim it. There are no daughters born in this kingdom for 2 decades. So I wonder if there's going to be some gay subplots in this, because if no women are being born, now a girl child is born. Okay, so this is about a man who is, I guess, protecting the first girl child born. Not my favorite type of plot. I guess it's a surrogate father type of thing. I assume it's going to be a father-daughter type relationship or mentor-student. And he's protecting her. So I don't know anything about this author. I mean, I'm going to pick up this book because I said I would. I'm going to follow the game. So what else has this author? Oh no. Oh. She wrote a book called The Laws of Moses. Is she a Christian writer? Okay, this could be bad. Can someone let me know what I've just gotten myself into? Oh my gosh, I think she's a romance writer too. A Christian romance writer. What have I done? What have I done? You know, this is what you get when you judge a book by its cover. Maybe I'm gonna love this book, I don't know, but after doing 30 seconds of research, this is something that I would never have picked up. But we're playing the game, shelve it or shove it. The two books I am keeping from my shelved items, just looking at the covers, are Reticence by Gail Carriger and First Girl Child by Amy Harmon. So here's my TBR for September. I'll put affiliate links below to these books. Someone please tell me about the First Girl Child if you know anything about it. But I'll report back to you if you're interested. If you want to do your own episode of Shelve It or Shove It, please tag me because I want to know how you do. But basically all you need are just a list of books that you just can look at the covers. And let me know in the comments below if you want me to do this again next month. Wow, what a game. That was a ride. Thank you for watching, and may all the books you read be blessed.